Good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me today. My name is Kara Oosterhuis. You live off the land, I live off the land, we live off the land. Sustainability is vital to the health and welfare of our planet and to our ever-changing agricultural industry. Here's why. Sustainability is environmental. It's knowing that a profit is imperative to the survival of my family farm, but taking care of our land is even more important. We know there's such a thing as too much fertilizer and too many chemicals. I believe the value of crop rotations can't even be monetized to its full extent because it's just that imperative to the survival of our environment. Agriculture employs methods such as solar energy, wind energy, and hydroelectricity. Oftentimes farmers are branded as not environmentally friendly, but I can personally tell you instances in my hometown where we are beginning to implement solar energy into powering our irrigation pivots. We farm off the land here, so we know how important our environment is. Sustainability is also financial. It's the ability to go into a local bank to take out an operating loan, which can be used to finance the inputs to grow a successful crop, all the while having a trust relationship deep enough with your banker to actually get this loan approved. It's knowing that we have to keep our borrowing costs low enough in order to not dump all our debt onto our future generations. Advancements such as crop insurance have allowed our industry to continue on in the tough years by protecting us from financial disaster. Even in my short lifespan, I've witnessed the importance of crop insurance. Conversations with my farming friends no longer involve whether or not we're actually going to be insuring our crops. It's an option Western Canadian farmers often take for granted. I remember growing up in my small town of Bow Island, Alberta. It would be a hot summer night, and we'd watch these big thunder clouds roll on in, and we'd be sitting and watching the weather radar while this is happening. Although this was and is an anxiety-ridden event, crop insurance has allowed us to continue farming, even when that baseball-sized hail comes roaring through a once thriving chickpea crop. When we face a drought year, like many across the prairies did last year, and that durum wheat is heading out at ankle high at the end of May, we don't have to worry as much about whether or not we're actually going to be able to put a crop into the ground the following year. Sustainability is technological too. Today, this can mean some pretty cool advancements like GPS, drones, and automated tractors. My dad and I have sat on the edge of a field, scouting the nearby fields from a bird's eye view, and we've done this without even moving in a matter of seconds. This is because of drones. Now, of course, we still put our feet to the field and we scout around because that's still important and always will be. But it's amazing how far technology has come and what it has done for our industry. Technology has given us the ability to build new infrastructure. The movement from horse and plow has allowed agriculture to become more sustainable with the first tractor. The first irrigation pivot in southern Alberta did the same thing, all while feeding back and contributing to the economy and communities. Growing up on now almost a half and half irrigation and dryland farm, I have firsthand experienced what irrigation has done alone for the feasibility of our industry and what it has contributed to some of our small but thriving villages. Without the ability, through stable governments, to build our local towns, our roads, our education facilities, our trucks and machinery, agriculture simply wouldn't be what it is today. Sustainability is our human resources. We need to continue to provide some of the best education in the world to continue to attract and retain our future industry professionals. I believe in order to continue the successful education trend we are on, we need to continue cutting-edge research, and we need to continue communicating this to the students. Students receiving this cutting-edge information means it's being implemented into our industry as well. However, it's important to keep yourself up to date and current, even if it's been decades since you've sat in a classroom yourself. Attending conferences, field days, plot hops, and trade shows are some of the best things you can do as an industry professional to keep yourself in the loop. And besides, these days usually have some pretty good local food and drinks, so can you really go wrong? Sustainability is access to medical resources. In order to take care of our land, crops, and farms, we need to take care of ourselves. As people who populate in rural areas, we have to be able to go to a nearby hospital when the unfortunate happens. No matter how safe we're being on our farms, accidents happen, and part of having a successful farm is being able to have access to medical resources and infrastructure nearby. However, it's not just our physical health we need to take care of, it's our mental health as well. Suicide numbers have increased, and there are countless reports of farmers feeling isolated within their farming operations. And no, this isn't just millennials feeling this way. In a recent report across Canada, 35% of the producers met the criteria for depression, 45% for high stress, and 58% for anxiety. But on top of that, 40% of the producers say they'd actually feel uncomfortable talking about their mental health condition because of how they feel others would portray them. Sustainability is creating a safe space to come together and help each other. It's acknowledging that the need for help is not a weakness. Finally, sustainability is working together. It's a whole ecosystem of things working together. Sustainability in agriculture is an imperative interconnected system. In order to continue to advance agriculture and keep it moving forward, we as an industry need to continue to work together as one community. It's not only making our land and farms viable for future generations, but showing the future generations exactly how important agriculture is and why they may want to one day devote their lives to this crazy and challenging lifestyle. That's why sustainability is so important to Canadian agriculture and agriculture as a whole, so we can continue to live off of our prosperous land. Thank you.